Welcome to the Cicero Regular Town Board Meeting, Wednesday, February 26th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Please note there are two exits in the rear of the room and one to my right over here. If you would please silence your cell phones and stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May stand and remember those who are serving in harm's way. Thank you. Anyone like to come up and speak on behalf of the agenda items before we start? If not, we'll move on to number 3.
Move for the adoption of a resolution approving abstracts number 7 dated 2/19/2025, abstract number 8, 2/26/2025.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Wish to vote no or abstain? I'll abstain.
Move for the adoption of a resolution approving the budget modifications/transfers for 2024 as presented.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed. The next one we'll have to, we're gonna open this up. I guess we're not ready for this yet. So we'll open this up at 6:30 and we'll close it at 6:30, or we'll leave it open.
Yeah, and adjourn it to March 12th, 6:30.
March 12th, 6:30 PM. All
I move to adjourn it to March 12th at 6:30 PM.
in favor?
Aye.
I'll second.
Second, Maurizio, all in favor?
Aye.
The continuation of the hearing for the local law for the succession authority for modernization law in the relation to the qualification of duties and persons exercising the authority of deputy supervisor. This has been ongoing for the past 3 weeks. I just, without getting into this, you guys got to make a decision what you're going to do here. We're either going to take it off the plate, take it off the table here, or we're going to go with a resolution. What?
This law was proposed the same meeting as the one that we just adjourned to March 12th. So as you and I discussed before we started the meeting, why don't we just adjourn it? And then on that day, it'll either be voted up or down or withdrawn.
Why don't we withdraw now?
Because I move to adjourn it to March 12th at 6:30 PM. If people can vote, the board can either agree to that or not.
6:30 PM. Open the public hearing at 6 what, Mike?
6:32.
6:32. Close it or leave it open till 6:32. Or we're open, I'm sorry, we're not closing it. 6:32. Make a motion, John, to do that.
Move to adjourn to March 12th at 6:30 PM.
Okay, all in favor, or second? Give me a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
6-month extension on the moratorium and development of Lakeshore. Development of Lakeshore of Oneida Lake in New York State Route 31. And at this time, I wish to waive the reading of legal notices posted and advertised at the proper time.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
You want to speak on this?
Sure. So we've had a moratorium in effect and for development in a portion of the town roughly described between between the shore of Oneida Lake and New York State Route 31. The purpose of that was to allow us time to do the comprehensive plan and work on the waterfront overlay district. That moratorium expires right around now. So this is a 6-month extension. I do not anticipate we are going to need 6 months. It's really just erring on the safe side because once we pass the overlay district or the comprehensive plan, we intend to lift the moratorium. So this is, again, just to give us time to finish it up, but I'm hoping it will not be anywhere near 6 months.
Okay, and I just want those developers down there to know that this isn't being specifically done for one person. This is specifically being done for all the lake. And we're working on this diligently. Things don't happen overnight. So I want those folks who are in a rush to get something done. That's not how it works. Okay. Okay, open the public hearing at 6:35.
34.
34. Okay. Move for the adoption of resolution that the proposed action to adopt local law number 2 of 2025 to approve an extension, a 6-month extension of the development moratorium for the South Shore of Oneida Lake and New York State Route 31. That was passed Lakeshore, that was passed in February 2024 and extended in August of 2024 as a type 2 action for the purpose of the seeker compliance. Proposed adoption involves no permit granting authorities outside the town of Cicero, and no further seeker inquiry or action is necessary.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, decision, move for the adoption resolution to approve a 6-month extension of the moratorium on the development in the area between the South Shore of Oneida Lake and New York State Route 31. That was passed in February 2024 and extended in August of 2024 to be known as local law number 2, 2025.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Wish to vote no or abstain, passed. Kate, number 8, you want to do a presentation on the annual draft and the draft stormwater management program report in accordance
Yes.
with the New York State DEC.
Yes,
MS4.
everyone's favorite thing. Okay, it's time for the annual report, MS4 annual report. The big news is there's a new permit. DEC issued a new permit last year that went into effect January 3rd last year. And it has the same goal, which is to improve water quality, but there's much more stringent requirements. So it's basically being implemented in a milestone approach. So first thing, we filed the notice of intent in February 2024. We had to do an interim progress report in September that showed we had made all the goals of the 6-month. Now we're at the 1-year mark. So this annual report is due by April 1st. So I have a copy of the annual report up here. It's very dry. It's all, but there, it's on the web page. If it's on the town website under the engineer page, we'll show you what the annual report is. But it's just a requirement to post it. So anyways, the goal in the next 5 years to have the entire program implemented. So if we could go to the next one, please. So basically there's 6 minimum control measures of how we manage the whole thing. And it's all comprised in our stormwater management program plan. So that's this document right here. There's 2 copies. One is at the highway garage in my office, and the other is at town hall in the codes office. So it's open to the public if anybody wants to review it. If anyone has any comments, they go to me. So the first one, if we can go to the next one, Tracy, please. So MCM1, Public Education and Outreach, we're very lucky. We're members of the CNY Stormwater Coalition, and they take care of a lot of the bulk of this requirement. The biggest one is maintaining the stormwater website, which has the mapping on it. And the other, they're also going to be dealing with a grant because the mapping requirements really are extreme. And so we have to have within 3 years, every catch basin, pipe, outfall in the town mapped on this. We're probably less than 50%. So there is a consultant, B&L Engineers was hired by the Stormwater Coalition, and they will be implementing this for us. But we realize they probably will not be able to cover everybody. They'll probably start. We'll get some stuff done in Cicero, but we're going to make the 3 years, we're going to have to do some on our own. So Chris and the highway department and I have been working together. We're figuring out a GPS thing so we can get the points ourselves and upload them. So that's how we think we're going to handle that. So just real quick, the map of Cicero, you can see how it goes. So I think if everyone thinks in terms of Oneida Lake and how it's precious to everybody and we want to take care of it, and that's what this whole program is about. Everything ultimately goes in where it says Oneida River. That's basically our Mud Creek watershed that goes into the Oneida River. Chittenango Creek, that's kind of the Cicero swamp that overflows into Chittenango Creek. Then that little bit in the green at the very south part of Cicero, that's the Onondaga Lake watershed. That watershed has more stringent requirements because of the pollution, phosphorus, nitrogen, and pathogens. So any development we have that falls within that green boundary has much more stringent requirements. We also have more requirements as a town. We're lucky we don't have any facilities in that region. But anyway, so if you see something about it, that's our part. But it's enough to trigger all these requirements for us because we have something in there. Okay, next one, please. Okay, the next one is public involvement and participation. So we have a local point of contact for stormwater concerns. That's Steve Procopio at the Director of Codes Enforcement. I have the responsibility of posting the annual report and providing comments if we receive any. Tracy does a great Earth Day event. Last year it is April 20th, 2024. This year's, it's going to be coming on April 26th. So we look forward to that. But there's ways if the public has any interest in getting involved, call us, or we'd love to have you show up on Earth Day. Okay, next one, please. This one, illicit discharge detection and elimination. That's one we don't really have to have as many issues with in Cicero. We're not on a combined sewer system, so we don't have sewage overflows in the rain typically. So, but we do, this is where you want to watch if someone's dumping oil down a catch basin or things like that. But there's a lot of requirements that go along with it. And the Onondaga County Soil and Water Conservation District provides the inspections for all the municipalities. So they have to do 20% of our outfall inspections that are required. Illicit discharge detection and elimination training is required annually, and the Highway Department, Codes Department, and Parks Department have or will be receiving training this week. Okay, the next one I think is the most familiar one, construction site stormwater runoff control. Any projects disturbing greater than 1 acre of land require a stormwater pollution prevention plan. This is all taken care of during the planning board process, and the SWIPs are reviewed. And once they go to construction, then it's required we have a pre-construction meeting, and then the developer and their contractor have requirements. The codes department, Brian Johnstone, he will go to each construction site once a month, which is above and beyond the requirements, and do an inspection on behalf of the town. So that's something I think the town does pretty well. It's just hard keeping up with all the developers who don't always want to follow all the rules. Okay, next one, post-construction stormwater management. This is in reality our biggest challenge. We have 55 stormwater facilities that we're in charge of that are in easements all throughout the town. We've always been in charge of them, but it's hard to keep up with them. But we have an inventory. The inventories will require more information, but we do inspections more often. It's important we document them and then provide the maintenance when it's needed. And this gets challenging because we want to respond to residents' complaints that don't necessarily take care of this. We could use our contractor just doing all of this, and it may not necessarily give us any leeway with our residents. There's also 76 private stormwater facilities. The property owners are responsible for the maintenance there. Since 2020, all those any new project has required to enter into a stormwater management facility maintenance agreement with the town. So we have that leverage with them. But by the end of 5 years, the town's going to be responsible for making sure that those private stormwater facilities are inspected. The next one, MCM6. So this is basically our operations. Our highway garage, our parks department, town hall. So the most important thing is to get in the best management practices, minimize exposure to things. The only thing that was required within the 6 months was the street sweeping, which wasn't a problem because the highway department sweeps the streets every year. Catch basin cleaning, that we've already started. They've been out doing a bunch of catch basin cleaning, but we're just going to have to get our inventory. Once the mapping's all done, we'll have all the catch basins inventoried. That we do not have at this time. We do training as part of this stormwater management MCM6. One of the other requirements that's coming at year 5 is that all of the like highway garage, probably parks department, are going to need a municipal facility specific SWIP unless we can prove that they don't need it. So there's going to start to require a specific SWIP for all of our facilities, which is challenging. I think the larger facilities. So we have some challenges ahead, but I think the Stormwater Coalition, we've all been working closely together and everybody's kind of getting a grip on it. And we got some good news. We were supposed to be audited on March 11th and DEC just called today and postponed that audit. So we'll have a little more time, but in general, I think we're in good shape. Does anyone have any questions?
Thanks, Kate.
Okay.
I don't suspect anybody does. It's a little, thank you.
Supplemental consultant agreement for Route 11 streetscapes. Move the adoption of resolution to accept CNS Engineers Supplemental Consultant Agreement number 2 for construction inspection services in the amount of $29,198.10 for the U.S. Route 11 streetscapes improvement, Guy Young Road to Bennett Street, and approve the supervisor to assign all related documents. This agreement facilitates the transfer of funds allocated for construction to construction inspection. The project finished $33,427.32 under budget.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Vote no, abstain, passed.
Whereas the town of Cicero, herein called a municipality after thorough consideration of the various aspects of the problem and consideration of available information, is hereby determined that certain work, as described in attachment A, herein called the project, is desirable, is in the public interest, and is required to implement the project. And whereas the Central New York Regional Planning Development Board, herein called the board, has provided program planning and implementation assistance pertaining to the requirements of the New York State Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, SPDES, Stormwater Phase 2 General Permit for a Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System, MS4 operator since 2002, and whereas the board has proposed staff and education assistance services in support of sustaining the CNY Stormwater Coalition and to provide a regional public education outreach and training compliance program to reduce municipal staff burdens, ensure consistency, provide widespread priority audience targeting, the most efficient use of limited municipal funds by distributing total program costs over a number of entities within a 12-month time frame. Now therefore be resolved by the town of Cicero that Michael Aragano, town supervisor, or such person's successor in office is a representative authorized to act on behalf of the municipality's governing body in all matters related to the project. 2, the municipality agrees it will fund its portion of the program cost, the amount of $3,600, and those funds will be made available to the board upon receipt of the invoice. 3, that one certified copy of this resolution will be prepared and sent to the board upon adoption. And 4, this resolution takes effect immediately.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Or abstain, passed.
Move the adoption of resolution adopting the town of Cicero social media policy. Said policy will be added to the town employee handbook when it is next updated.
Discussion,
Need a second. Need a second.
Second.
discussion,
I think it's high time we adopt something like this. It goes into effect immediately since we're adopting it tonight, but it will be added to the employee handbook, so it won't exist as a separate
so
policy.
I got a couple questions for you, John, because it came up Sunday. I called Robert, tried to get some information on this. The question is all of a sudden this comes out of the blue. What's the reasoning for social media policy? Who's doing what, where? I mean, is this something that, I mean, I've been posting on Facebook for the past month and a half with my signature on the bottom of these Facebook posts that I thank our highway department, our police department, thank our highway, parks department for all the great work that they've done. Is this anything to do with that?
No.
Because it seems kind of ironic that it is. And is this to stop maybe other public officials or town officials from posting stuff on Facebook or any social media that will preclude them from posting anything about any other a public official on this, in this policy?
I don't know what you're referring, I don't understand the question.
So is this policy, because I think Robert never gave me the answer that I asked you the other day, Robert. I don't think we connected back. That in the policy for the public officials or the elected officials, is this going to stop any of the public officials from putting stuff out there about any other political person?
Again, I don't, like, what, can you give an example of what you're talking about?
Well, like some of the stuff that you posted about me on Facebook, is that going to stop all that stuff? Is that what
I
this is
don't really
for?
know. Okay, well,
I'm asking the question.
sure. Okay, well, if you read the policy, then you saw that when elected officials have their own pages that are not town pages, this would not apply to that. This is about town-owned, town-operated accounts.
Okay.
My Town of Cicero Counselor page says it's not an official Town of Cicero account. So no, it would not apply to it. If you want to have your own, it would not. This refers to town-operated accounts. In terms of the impetus, since you asked,
Yep.
you know, a municipal client of mine actually asked me to look at our also social media policy because they thought they should implement one. And it struck me that we didn't have one. So I started looking into it. That's it.
Seems ironic, but you got it from Fishkill, apparently. Kind of like plagiarized Fishkill, I see.
No, I used some of Fishkill stuff and I added some other things and modified it. I think plagiarize is a really,
I won't say, I'll take that back. You use some of their,
I did, as just as
Well, I
when
just
all
want-
of us do
Okay.
things, we all,
Why
I mean,
reinvent
why
the
would you
wheel?
reinvent the
I
wheel?
don't disagree. I'm just bringing it up that you used it. So,
Yeah.
I just
Can we
find.
just have a civil?
Yes,
I'm trying.
there you go. I'm
Like-
being
it's-
civil.
so,
Mike,
Like, I'm actually with you. I agree with you in this policy. Okay, so let's get that, you two, just please just civilly discuss, okay? Like I hate the sniping. Can we stop that?
you got it.
Thank you.
I don't think I'm sniping, but I think there's some truth to the matter. So if you guys want to vote on this tonight, I got this Sunday. I really wanted to have another conversation with Robert, so I would like to. hold
Let's
off on
table
this.
I'm okay with tabling it.
Okay,
So-
table it to what's the date? Next date? March 12th? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to table this to March 12th.
You got
Why
it.
are we tabling it? I don't understand why we're
They have
tabling
some
it.
more
All this is to protect the town website. So the town website is kind of speaking for the town in general. It's not a personal one. So, you know, social media has gotten much more popular, much more utilized, and I think this is to protect the town website. Am I wrong?
And there's also a manager that manages this. So who's going to be the manager? That
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
even
right-
discuss it. So we don't even
It
have.
actually does, but that's
Well,
fine.
It says clerk in one part of it.
It says the town clerk will do the records retention, and in the other part, it named, I mean, these are all things that could have been asked, obviously, prior to the meeting, but I didn't think there were any questions since it went on the agenda and nothing, but that's fine. Like, no, that's fine. I don't have any, it's my thing that I propose. I don't have any objection to tabling it.
So what I'm
That's
gonna
fine.
propose again tonight with the board members, if anything, and I said it to I said it to all of the groups, all of the department heads, if you want to put something on the agenda, call me. We can discuss it and it should go on the agenda. Okay? I don't have, like, I'm here at my office every single day. I can be reached on my cell phone. I've gotten no phone calls from you, John, or anybody else here for that matter. And nobody else puts anything on here usually, but except yourself. I get nothing from anybody. So, you know, have that open communication with us, John, would be great. You know,
As I said in the email, which was over the weekend, I was out of town on Friday and Saturday, and I
Right.
apologize for not getting it in
Right.
sooner.
That's fine.
So,
But we
I
got
mean,
Monday, Tuesday, and today's Wednesday. Mike, I apologize, okay? But I'm not,
Okay.
I agree with you on this one.
Okay.
So
make a motion to adjourn this to March 13th. Or 12th,
I
I'm
think it's
sorry.
table is the
Sixth
proper,
Table?
table is the proper
Table.
language.
Table.
Could you do it
March
again?
12th. Okay, make a motion to table this to March 12th at 6:30 PM.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed. Move for the adoption resolution approving the purchase of a 2024 Ram 3500 Tradesman regular cab 4x4 long box truck from McGuire Motors in the amount of $53,599.43 through New York State bid pricing OGS contract PC 68973 SSB, budget code 001711002200000.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
Move to the adoption of a resolution that the town board approves and authorizes the supervisor to execute a 3-year agreement with the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services for cybersecurity services that include but are not limited to phishing assessment training, cybersecurity risk assessment, network penetration testing, and ad hoc vulnerability scans.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed. Move for the adoption resolution to approve the following, and authorize the supervisor to execute any documents.
Do you want me to read this since
Go ahead.
you're going to abstain?
You can even see it?
I'll read, I'll manage through.
Okay, I can't see it.
Do you want me, you're a member there, so I'm assuming you're
I'm not a
abstaining.
member.
Oh, okay, then
Yeah.
you can read it then.
No, you can read it.
Oh, all right.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is gonna be tough. Move the adoption resolution to approve the following and authorize the supervisor to execute any documents. In the matter of approving the 2024, what is that?
Certified point.
Certified points, okay. All right. Whereas the town is the sponsor of the Length of Service Annual Program, LOSAP, on behalf of the South Bay Fire Department in accordance with Article 11-A of the New York State General Municipal Law. Whereas it required by the GML, right? 219A 2C, the South Bay Fire Department has submitted the attached list certified under oath of active members of the fire department, indicating those volunteers who earned at least 50 points during 2024 to qualify for service credit. Whereas the certification made by the fire department includes a statement that the points recorded on the attached list have been tabulated in accordance with the point system adopted by the town to be in effect during calendar year 2024. And the best of the knowledge of the fire department is a true and accurate reflection of the activities performed by the active members. Whereas GML 219A2D requires the town board to review and approve the attached list, then return it to the fire department to be posted for 30 days. And whereas the board has completed review, thank you, is review of the attached list. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves the attached list of volunteer firefighters of the South Bay Fire Department and the points earned by those firefighters during calendar year 2024. And be it further resolved that a copy of this adopted resolution and the attached list shall be returned to the fire department for posting of a minimum of 30 days. And thank you for your help, everyone.
Nice job.
Do a roll call vote, please.
Get a second up here?
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Oh,
Aye.
roll call vote?
Can we
Roll
please
call?
do a roll
Sorry.
call vote?
Go ahead,
Thank
Tracy.
you.
Go ahead.
Counselor Hogan,
Yes.
Counselor Maurizio.
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Aragano.
I'll abstain.
Thank
The
you.
number 15 is going to be removed. That is not, we have not done this yet. We've not gotten a contract with this. Does anybody have any discussion here?
Are we going to discuss? No, go ahead. Weren't we going to discuss?
Yes, we are. You're going to, you go ahead.
One of the other things I put on that email and
It-
was I think it's time for us to start the public hearings on the comprehensive plan and on the waterfront overlay district, at the next meeting. I know that Ms. Fiorello had tried to get us to set the public hearing back in January for the comprehensive plan, but I do not anticipate voting at the next meeting. I think this is going to be a multi-meeting public hearing situation, but I think it's time for us to start hearing from the public and letting the public talk about this and hear the discussion and the debate.
Can I speak for a sec? I agree with you. I called John Steinmetz before the meeting to get his schedule to see, because February is a short month. So then if the public hearing is set tonight, it's in 2 weeks. He thinks that will be tight, but he said he can do it. Unfortunately, the following meeting, the 26th, they are not available. Then he thought April 9th, they could do everything and do the waterfront overlay and maybe some of the code stuff. Or there was also the option of doing the public hearing not on a town board night, like maybe 3 weeks out from now, if that worked for you all. So
Why don't we start it at the next meeting and then.
Even
we can
without
set-
them?
Well, if they, but you said they can make the next meeting.
I think they can. He said it will be tight, but I mean, I'll text him after this
I mean-
and tell him we're on for next Wednesday.
Why don't we set it? Yeah, I think it's time to start the discussion on this.
Okay.
March 12th.
Yeah. So if no one has any objection, I'll make the motion.
Do we
So-
have to have them there? Because I know that that's a cost to us. Do we have to have them there every single time?
I don't think
But
they have to
there's
be
a
there every time. We're
discussion,
going to
I
want them
mean-
there for some of it because
Okay.
there's going to be questions they'll be in a better position to answer.
But I think it's going to snowball. So, I don't think it's necessary, in my opinion, that we have to have them there. If we're trying to hear from the public, I don't know that we necessarily have to have them there every single time anyway.
I don't know that we need to, but we should have them there at some point. I don't disagree.
Correct.
And I think that the public may have questions that they're in a better position to answer. So why don't we,
Yeah, and I do want them there for the opening of this, and I also want them there for the overlay as well.
so why don't we'll set one for both. We can start the discussion then. So I would, if there's no objections, I'll make the motions. I'll do it for the comprehensive plan first. Move the adoption resolution to set a public hearing for March 12th, 2025 at 6:30 PM to consider the town of Cicero comprehensive plan.
Second.
Yep, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no abstain, pass.
And I would move the adoption resolution to set a public hearing for March 12th, 2025 at 6:30 PM to consider changes to Chapter 210 of the Town Code. The purpose of these changes would be to establish a waterfront overlay district along the south shore of Oneida Lake.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no abstain.
Thanks.
Anything else?
I
No, I got
do
nothing.
two brief ones.
Go ahead.
On my way here tonight, the traffic light at Torchwood and 31 is the blue or the green light's out. So
Yes.
you are, okay, cool.
Tracy already
And
talked.
then yesterday, Steve and his crew, I appreciate how quickly you helped out that resident over in Bridgeport. So thank you.
Anyone else? I just have a couple things that I want to bring up tonight. First, the Salt Bay Road. There's a light up there, okay? It's not a blinking light, it's a red light going southbound. Do not go around that light. It's only a one-way road. DOT is going to put more signage up there, hopefully in the next couple of days. We have our police chief over here who's been trying to monitor it with when the officers are down. So I want to thank him for that. And if you can send somebody, I just got another text message that they're going around the barriers and waiting and waiting and waiting. And,
That light is there for emergency vehicles.
right, exactly.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just,
The way it's set up now is confusing people. I've heard it
It's
from people.
confusing.
Yeah, that was reasonably foreseeable. I'm surprised they set it up like that to begin with.
And the Brewerton Bridge, the project up there has started. If you go up there on the left side of the bridge, heading northbound, they are doing some road work up there. A couple other things I just have for, the board here. Just a quick note. I'm not sure how this is happening, but why are our residents or a resident and specific resident asking somebody else or another resident if they want to be on a planning board because there's going to be an opening. And then on top of that, 4 days later, we have a ad hoc position open up on the planning board. So I'm not sure what's going on here and who's sharing information or who knows what around here, but I'm going to tell you guys, I mean, it happens here. Nobody knows this stuff. Okay. So I don't know what is going on here. I'm not sure.
I think it's a fair question, because I only found out that the planning board member resigned on Monday, and I heard from another resident saying something about there being an availability, and I was surprised because I don't know where they would have heard that from. So actually, I'm been kind of wondering that myself because I have no idea.
I don't know what's going on here, but I'm just want to bring that to your attention.
that's fair.
Okay. I have a resolution to read tonight and, I think the town and the public needs to know what's going on here. So I'm gonna read this resolution to you. Whereas a former town employee filed a formal complaint alleging harassment and sexual harassment by the town supervisor, which the board recognizes as a serious matter, requiring a thorough and impartial investigation. But we all know as well that that didn't happen and that wasn't the case. And whereas the town board promptly authorized an independent investigation of these allegations and is certain the facts and ensure appropriate action would be taken, and such investigation has now been completed with the investigative report delivered to the town board. And whereas the supervisor is committed to transparency in governance and accountability to the public, believing that openness is essential to maintaining public trust in the town's governance. Resolved that the town board, town of Cicero, hereby authorizes public release of the investigative report regarding the allegations of harassment and sexual harassment involving the town supervisor, provided that any information that is confidential or legally protected, including but not limited to the personally identified information of any complaints or witnesses as required to be kept confidential by law, shall be redacted from the report prior to its release, and be further resolved that the town clerk, with the assistance of the town attorney, is hereby authorized and directed to take all necessary actions of effectuate the public disclosure of said investigation report in accordance with the resolution, including making the redactions noted above, posting the redacted report on the town official website, and making copies of the report available to the public for inspection and copy upon request, in full compliance with the New York State Freedom of Information Law and any other applicable laws. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Can I get a second? No second.
I mean, I'll wait till, I have a question, but I'm not going to second it, but I guess we have to wait until you make your calls for a second.
Okay. No one's going to second? Okay. Does anybody from the public wish to speak?
No, I have a discussion item though. I
Well,
would like to
second.
ask, well, I have
Gotta
a
have a
discussion.
second.
I have a
I'm not-
discussion item on I noticed that you were very specific to refer to the allegations by Ms. Van Epps. You did not refer to the entire report because there was another allegation made by a former employee regarding
And I-
steel. So
And
is
I
that,
can't say anything about that because you know where that can go. So
I would like to make a motion to go into executive session, calling upon our attorney to,
Provide
please
legal
help me,
advice.
Robert,
provide legal advice?
provide legal advice. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There was just two ayes. I mean,
Aye.
all right. 7:06.
I move to close executive session at 7:27, seconded by Counselor Marizio.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to resume regular session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Mr. Jermaine? Good.
Is that better?
It is, thank you.
Okay, so we did go into executive session to obtain legal advice, which is one of the bases that falls outside the scope of the open meetings law. Although I will not discuss what we talked about in there, I did provide the board previously with the basis, the legal basis, the rulings and the opinions, why this report is not subject to public disclosure or is it subject to FOIL in any way? And I appreciate that. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. Anyone like to come up and speak? And I ask that you keep it brief if you do. Go ahead.
Hi, Jay Reardon. I'm just here to speak about number 11 because it's a social media policy, which you tabled till next time. If you look at that policy, you'll see that the policy itself notes that social media is a continually evolving communications tool with new resources and technology coming available over time. Policy is supposed to be an adaptive policy, which is true. Also, if you look down further in that same section, you'll see that you identify in this policy a specific role for a communications manager who's going to be the information and technology vendor and enforce this policy. And that all makes sense. This is all good. But the thing I want to sort of suggest to you right now is that this is one half of an essential or an effective town social media communications policy. This communications policy says what everybody is not to do, okay? And the information technology vendor is going to enforce this. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this other thing. But let me ask you a different question because I want to sell this to you and I think it's a really good idea. What about if you put a second half out there in the future and you develop this in the coming weeks? And instead of focusing on what people are not to do with social media, focus on what they can do. What are the benefits that maybe you're not thinking about now that can be stolen from other towns? I'll just give you a few quick examples and then I'll end this. Look at what other towns are doing. John Steinmetz, the consulting engineer there with Colliers or Bergman or whatever you're calling it now, mentioned that Henrietta near Rochester has some really good communications mechanisms, some really good things, and they're doing a really great job with their town communications, and an essential part of that is social media. Be great. Steal it from them. Steal it from somewhere in the Hudson Valley. Steal it from any town. If it's good, it works. How about an app for Cicero? Or at least looking into how to do it and how much it will cost. Be a great job for a forward-looking communications manager. How about this? One simple email address for town concerns, info@ whatever.gov. Manlius put this into place recently. It's pretty cool. A communications manager who's forward-looking can answer those emails, sort of sort out who to contact within the town and get things going. How about open office hours by the communications manager, like Mr. Bacallo used to do so successfully up there at Noble? Did a great job with that. It was awesome. The communications manager, even if that doubles as a social media manager, however you want to figure it out, it'd be a great thing for the town to have. Or just explaining significant items before the town in clear, simple language. Like, could you give a clear, simple explanation of what's going on with the build moratorium or what's going on with the auxiliary supervisor stuff? Or here's one for you, a clear, simple answer to the question. If somebody comes to you and says, hey, I think I could be an asset to the Cicero Planning Board. How do I apply so that I know my application and resume will be received and evaluated? It's a fair question to ask. A communications manager who's forward-looking and undertakes these roles can do these things, develop these things, and really create a basis for what you're going to need 6 to 9 months in the future when Micron starts building. Build the basis, make the second part of this communication strategy, and try to think of the communications manager role as beyond that of an IT consultant, and not just somebody who's going to say no, 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 but who's going to look out there, evaluate, come back to you with better suggestions, and say yes, yes, yes in that second part of the policy. Thank you.
Hey, Jay,
Thank you.
in your comment, this is supposed to be lighthearted. I don't look like it, but the open office hours, I appreciate the comment on those, but people stopped coming, right? So it got to the point where maybe we should give it a rest and then start it back up again. That was the intent was.
It's really nice to see, but here's what's going on now, right? Drive up past Brewerton Road Elementary, right? Takes 15 minutes in the afternoon on a good day. What happens when Micron comes in? It takes 45 minutes. You know, there's a lot going on in the town that was not going on when you're doing those open office hours. There are new concerns, and so why not revisit it? If people don't show up, have them once every other month, you know? Give it a try again. It was a good idea in the first place, though. Really loved it.
Thanks, Jay. Anybody else?
Don Bloss, Mud Mill Road. First and foremost, I want to thank the people responsible for this proclamation. And I want to thank all the people over the years that I had an opportunity to work with. And most of them were right in this building and in various stages of me working or helping the town of Cicero. It's been great. I've enjoyed it. And I want to thank you people 100%. It's great. Thank you.
Thank you for your service, Don.
Okay, if no one else wants us, none, Mike.
Mike DeVero, Sneller Road. Just wanted to talk about the comprehensive plan quick. We had those couple of workshops and left the last workshop where the consultants were going to suggest new wording over the areas that were of concern. And in the break, I talked to Kate, and Kate clarified that she had said just received it, maybe, or it's pretty close. And then, you know, now jump into the public hearing. I just want to make sure that maybe that the public understands the process. So if a question would be, we've got the new wording in the comprehensive plan, we're going to have a public hearing. If there's suggested changes, because to my knowledge, I'm not sure you've seen any redraft either. So if those changes aren't acceptable, do we then go back, change it again, have a new public hearing? You know, what's the process going to be?
Well, I think the public hearing is going to be over multiple evenings. And we can certainly make changes during the time. We just need to make them, to notice them. None of the changes would be significant enough to require it to be re-referred to the county planning for the GML 239M. So we can certainly do that during the process.
Okay. Because you haven't seen any changes yet, right?
I haven't seen the most recent ones.
Right.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks.
Thanks. Anyone else?
Judy Boyke, Muskrat Bay. In regards to the comprehensive plan, with a public hearing, are we going to get an opportunity to see what these overlays are so that we can ask questions?
Yes, I believe they will bring some drawing or
I think
At
we'll-
that time,
I
prior
think
to.
we'll probably post it on the website as soon as we get it. So John asked today if we were comfortable with them posting it right to the website. I said, well, why don't you just send it to us first? So as soon as I receive it, I'll send it to you guys. And then I'm still waiting for a response to hope that he can make it here in 2 weeks. So
thanks.
we'll be in touch, but I think we'll get it all up on the website, right?
Because, you know, you can't ask a question if you haven't even seen.
The overlay district is going to be a set of additions to Chapter 210, and like any other statutory or code addition. So yeah, that'll be posted prior to the public hearing so you can see it and ask questions about it.
Well, only because I live on the south shore of Oneida Lake. So I have an interest in these waterfront overlays.
Of course, I understand.
But having this information prior to gives everybody the opportunity to ask pertinent questions regards. And also, when you get that stuff, Kate, if you could put a notice out so that residents will know that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Anyone else? That being said, I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.